Shedeur Sanders finally opened his mouth about the $80 million Las Vegas Raiders deal, and all he said was, "We'll see what happens." 7 words, 1 eyebrow raise, and the entire league? Meltdown mode. Let's be clear. This wasn't just a casual, we'll see, tossed out in passing. No, this was strategic. This was intentional. Shedeur didn't just speak. He sent a message, and the message was loud and clear. I hold the cards now. And
if you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
And just like that, we're no longer talking about rookie development, QB depth charts, or earning your stripes. Nope, those days are over. We're talking about leverage, power, control of the narrative. Because when a rookie quarterback, still in training camp, can shake the very foundation of 2 NFL franchises with 1 sentence, that's not just talent, that's disruption. Let's break it down, shall we? The Las Vegas Raiders have thrown a grenade into the NFL's safe little world of rookie contracts. An $80 million offer for a first-year QB with player input on team decisions, branding deals, and reportedly, even say in stadium marketing, this isn't a contract. It's a takeover bid. And if you're thinking that's crazy for someone who hasn't even started a regular season game, welcome to the new NFL. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a cultural asset. He's a media property. He's a content engine in cleats. He's the walking, talking version of what the league wants to become. Faster, louder, younger, more connected, and way more profitable. So when Vegas looked at the chaos brewing in Cleveland, the internal dysfunction, the stalled quarterback room, the fans in open revolt, and saw an opportunity, they went all in. Because that's what Vegas does. They don't rebuild. They bet big. And Shedeur, he's the jackpot. Now let's talk about that press conference. Reporters were ready. Microphones up. Cameras rolling. Everyone braced for a denial, a reassurance, any attempt at damage control. Instead, they got, "We'll see what happens." And then silence. He didn't blink. He didn't smirk. He just dropped it like a mic and walked. It wasn't what he said. It was how he didn't say more. That line instantly hijacked every ESPN panel, every NFL podcast, every burner account on X. It was trending within minutes. And every GM in the league suddenly rechecking their rookie salary model and asking their PR teams for a crash course in Shedeur Management 101. Because the league has never seen anything like this. Meanwhile, Cleveland is on fire, like full inferno. Front office in crisis meetings. Stefanski ducking media. Andrew Berry trying to stay focused on football. And poor Jimmy Haslam probably refreshing Twitter, like the rest of us, wondering how he lost control of the one good thing to happen to this franchise in a decade. Let's be honest. The Browns have never been good at handling quarterbacks. But this is different. This is self-destruction. Because not only did they sideline their best QB option in favor of mediocrity, but now they're watching become the most powerful rookie in modern NFL history from the bench. Fans are furious. Players are tense. And somewhere in the middle of this organizational chaos sits Shedeur, calm, composed, calculated. You know what that's called? Leverage. Let's zoom out even further. This isn't just a contract negotiation. This is a cultural shift. The NFL used to be a league where rookies kept their heads down. You waited. You earned your snaps. You didn't question coaching decisions. Now, players come in as brands, as investments, as movements. And Shedeur isn't just playing the game. He's rewriting the playbook. His marketability? Off the charts. His fan base? Gen Z loyal and loud. His influence? Extends beyond football into music, fashion, content, and lifestyle. When you sign Shedeur Sanders, you're not just getting a quarterback. You're getting a media empire in pads. And teams are starting to understand that. Vegas gets it. They see him as a key to filling a stadium, electrifying a market, and launching a new era of football entertainment. Cleveland? They still think this is about scheme fit. That's the difference. Let's not forget, Shedeur is balling out in camp. Coaches, even the ones hesitant to start him, can't deny it. He's accurate. He commands a huddle. He's making deep throws look easy. He's already mentoring guys older than him. And when reporters push him, he gives nothing. No fear. No panic. The man was built for this. Which begs a question. What exactly are the Browns waiting for? You've got your guy. You've got a fan base ready to storm the gates for him. You've got offers from other teams confirming he's the one. And instead of embracing the future, you're treating him like a PR problem? It's like finding a winning lottery ticket and using it as a bookmark. Let's talk scenarios. Scenario 1, the Browns panic. They restructure his contract, promise him QB1, give him the respect and power he's earned. Shedeur stays, save the franchise, and leads Cleveland out of the mud. Scenario 2, he calls their bluff, takes the Vegas deal, gets a stadium named after him, opens his own line of cleats, wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cleveland becomes a cautionary tale in every GM seminar across the country. Scenario 3, he waits, keeps his options open, continues to dominate on the field and in the headlines, raises the price, because the longer this goes on, the more valuable he becomes. Make no mistake, this is a test for the entire league. Will teams continue treating rookies like interns? Or will Shedeur's saga force a total reevaluation of how we define value? Because right now, Shedeur Sanders is a tip of the spear in a movement toward player empowerment, branding first football economics, and quarterback-centric franchise building. This isn't just a money story. This is a movement. And the NFL is watching it unfold in real time. So what now? If you're Vegas, you're calling again. You're sweetening the deal. You're doing everything short of giving him ownership. If you're Cleveland, you've got two options. You act fast, admit your mistake, start him now and pay him what he's worth. You stall, play politics, and watch the most valuable rookie in a generation build someone else's dynasty. There is no middle ground anymore. This isn't just a contract negotiation. It's a reckoning. And Shedeur? He's standing at the center of it, calm as ever, holding the detonator. So now we ask you, what should Shedeur Sanders do? Should he take the $80 million and roll the dice with the Raiders? Should he hold Cleveland accountable and force them to put respect on his name? Or should he keep doing exactly what he's doing, playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers? Let us know in the comments. We want every hot take, every fantasy trade, every conspiracy theory. And if you love NFL chaos, quarterback drama, and watching the old guard get replaced in real time, smash that subscribe. Because the saga, it's just getting started. And trust us, whatever Shedeur Sanders does next, the league will never be the same. We talked about the what? The $80 million offer. Shedeur's. We'll see what happens. The nuclear level panic setting in over at Browns HQ. But now, let's get into the why. Why this whole saga mattered beyond just one quarterback or one franchise. Because the truth is this is way bigger than football. We are watching a paradigm shift unfold in real time. Not in the off-season. Not behind closed doors. Right now, out in the open, under stadium lights, on TikTok, in tweets, in press conferences that sound more like brand negotiations than roster updates. Let's talk about what Shedeur is doing here, because this is not just passive leverage. This is a masterclass in controlled chaos. He's not ranting on podcasts. He's not tweeting subtweets. He's not making scenes. He's doing the one thing NFL franchises have never been able to handle from players. Remaining calm while being in total control. Because you know what happens when a quarterback speaks recklessly? The media eats it up. Management clutches pearls. The league finds somebody. But when a quarterback doesn't speak, when he says almost nothing and still manages to control every conversation in the league, that's the kind of thing that keeps owners up at night. And Shedeur Sanders, with his "we'll see what happens," just became the most watched, most talked about, and most sought-after player in the NFL without even starting a regular season game. Read that again. Meanwhile, the Raiders are playing their cards like a team that knows they're not just fighting for wins. They're fighting for relevance. Let's be real. Vegas hasn't been sexy since they arrived. The stadium is shiny, sure, The uniforms? Classic. But the energy? Flat. Shedeur could flip that overnight. Imagine it. Shedeur in all black. A high-powered offense with a QB who actually has personality. A team with edge that finally has a face, a voice, a vibe. The Raiders know they're not just chasing a playoff run. They're chasing a new identity. And Shedeur? He's tailor-made for the Vegas spotlight. The brand. The nightlife. The content machine. We're talking jersey sales through the roof. We're talking Shedeur-branded slot machines in the concourse. Primetime 2.0, Desert Edition. And let's not pretend this is just a rookie buzz thing. The guy has a resume. He threw for nearly 4,000 yards in college with surgical precision. He kept his team competitive against top 10 programs with an O-line that had the structural integrity of a pool noodle. He's smart, efficient, composed. His football IQ is high. His media IQ is higher. He's not some TikTok quarterback. He's the total package. And that's exactly what scares Cleveland. Let's talk about them for a minute. The Cleveland Browns, a franchise that has burned through more quarterbacks than the Fast and Furious movies have had sequels, somehow landed a generational talent and are now actively fumbling the opportunity in slow motion. You can almost hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme playing every time the camera cuts to the front office. First, they refuse to start him. Then, they let rumors swirl. Now, they're backpedaling like a rookie corner, getting smoked on a double move. Their response to the Raiders' offer? Silence. Then panic. Then awkward. We still believe in our guy, quotes from Kevin Stefanski that sound like hostage videos. Shedeur's agents aren't sweating. They're taking calls from Nike, from Apple, from Netflix, from ownership groups. Because here's what people forget. When you have the power of the internet behind you, when your jersey is outselling starters and you're getting offers with equity built into them, you're not just a player. You're a platform. And platforms don't beg to play. They get pitched. What makes this even more fascinating is that Shedeur is playing this like a chess master. He hasn't committed to leaving. He hasn't demanded a trade. He hasn't even really complained. Instead, he's just letting the pressure build, letting Cleveland stew in the mess they made, letting every team in the league look at the situation and ask, if they don't want him, what are we missing? Because the second the Browns lose the PR war, which, spoiler alert, they already have, it's over. The fans turn. The locker room fractures. The franchise gets the dysfunction label again. And the Browns don't recover from that. Let's talk timing now. Why is this happening right now? Why does the Raiders' offer hit this week? Why does Shedeur finally speak now? Simple. He's applying pressure at the perfect time. Training camp is ending. Preseason depth charts are being finalized. Every team is making real decisions. And right before Cleveland could try to quietly slide Shedeur down the depth chart or justify another week of Dylan Gabriel, boom, $80 million. Shedeur's name trending again. Reporters everywhere. Phones blowing up. Browns fans melting in comment sections. And Shedeur? Smiling. Watching. Waiting. He knows this is his moment. And whether or not he signs with Vegas, he's already changed the math. Every team with a QB controversy is thinking, what if we made him an offer? Every franchise struggling with relevance is thinking, what if he could turn us around? And every rookie coming up is taking notes on how to play this game. This isn't a contract battle. It's a blueprint. So, what happens next? Path A. Cleveland pulls a miracle. They admit fault. They start in week 1. They match Vegas' offer, or at least restructure his rookie deal. Give him control. Let him lead. Finally realize what they have before it's too late. Path B. They hesitate. Delay. Try to discipline him into submission. Try to hold their power like it's 2005 and watch as he walks. Signs a deal with Vegas. Becomes a superstar. And uses his post-game interviews to casually remind them what they gave up. Path C. The unthinkable. Shedeur sits. He waits. Doesn't play another down for Cleveland. Lets the contract run until they're forced to trade him or risk losing him for nothing. It becomes Deshaun Watson 2.0, but this time, It's a player with actual leverage and zero scandals. No matter what happens, the league is different now because the rules have changed. And Shedeur Sanders isn't just rewriting them. He's authoring the next era of the NFL. At this point, the question isn't, will Shedeur Sanders leave the Browns? The question is, how did the Browns let this happen? How did a team that finally lucked into a quarterback with skill, swagger, and star power fumble the bag this epically? Let's not sugarcoat it. The Cleveland Browns are watching a potential franchise savior slip through their fingers, not because of injury, not because of poor play, but because of ego, dysfunction, and outdated thinking. And here's the kicker. Shedeur didn't even want this drama. He walked in, ready to work, focused, quiet, wearing his dad's legacy like armor, but determined to build his own. He showed up to camp, delivered in reps, showed leadership, and earned his shot. And what did Cleveland do? They buried him behind a mid-level QB. They limited his reps. They refused to publicly commit. And now they want loyalty? Please. Loyalty goes both ways. And Shedeur is just holding a mirror up to the Browns front office and saying, you didn't believe in me then. Now you want to believe because someone else does. That's not belief. That's desperation. And the Raiders? They saw that hesitation, that chaos, that golden opportunity, and kicked the door wide open with an $80 million check, a marketing package, and the kind of respect the Browns still can't seem to offer. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't just about money. This is about control, identity, respect. It's about a young quarterback saying, I'm not waiting 5 years to matter. I'm ready now. And if you can't see that, somebody else will. Because the NFL doesn't run on patience anymore. It runs on urgency and attention. And who's commanding more attention than Shedeur right now? No one. Not Mahomes. Not Caleb Williams. Not even Travis Kelce during his Swiftie era. Shedeur's on every headline, every first take, every barbershop debate. And he got there not by antics or drama, but by playing it smarter than everyone else. Think about it. No emotional outbursts. No cryptic posts. No demands. Just one press conference. One line. We'll see what happens. And now entire front offices are having emergency meetings. Twitter spaces are burning up. Jerseys are flying off the shelves in 2 cities. All because of how he didn't react. That's the kind of poise you can't coach. Let's pivot for a moment and talk optics. Because in the NFL, perception is power. And right now, the perception is simple. The Browns don't know how to handle stars. And Shedeur Sanders knows exactly how to become one. You think rookies around the league aren't watching this? You think college QBs with nil money and media followings aren't paying attention? They are. And here's what they're learning. You don't have to beg for respect. You don't have to conform to a broken system. You can let your play and your presence speak for itself. What Shedeur is doing is setting a blueprint, a new standard. And if he does walk away from Cleveland, it will mark a seismic shift in how rookies approach the NFL. The old guard is shaking. And the next wave? They're coming in with agents, cameras, social strategy, and a clear sense of value. Back to the Browns. It's hard to watch, honestly, because for a second, it looked like they'd figured it out. Like they'd finally landed someone who could carry them into relevance. Someone with charisma, talent, and the ability to inspire a fan base that's been traumatized for decades. But old habits die hard. Instead of embracing the new, they clung to the old. Old systems, old pecking orders, old fears. And now they're scrambling, trying to save face, leaking stories about how they're exploring ways to keep Shedeur happy, floating the idea of a QB competition, finally, and praying that the fans won't turn on them before the season starts. Spoiler, too late. The fans have already chosen a side, and they're not backing management. They're riding with Shedeur. You can feel it in the chants, in the signs, in the Reddit threads, the jersey orders, the YouTube comments. They've picked their quarterback, and he's not even starting yet. That's power. That's leverage. That's rare. And that's why this whole thing is so much more than just one offer from the Raiders. Let's talk possibility. What does the league look like if Shedeur accepts that Vegas deal? Picture it. Opening week. Raiders versus Chiefs. Shedeur steps out in the all-black. Stadium roaring. Prime time in the stands. National anthem ends. First play from scrimmage. Deep bomb. Touchdown. The internet breaks. And somewhere in Ohio, a Browns exec throws their headset across the room. It's not just revenge. It's evolution. It's not just a player leaving a team. It's a movement announcing itself to the world. And if you think Vegas is the only team watching this unfold, think again. Dallas? They're lurking. Atlanta? Quietly interested. Miami? Don't rule it out. Because once one team makes a bold move, the rest of the league starts questioning its conservatism. What if rookies are worth $80 million? What if branding really is part of roster building? What if Shedeur Sanders just changed the entire structure of rookie power? And let's not forget the most poetic part of all this. Through everything, the media circus, the rumors, the internal drama, Shedeur continued to do one thing right. Play football. By all reports, he's lighting it up in practice. His teammates love him. His coaches are impressed. Even if they won't admit it publicly, he's not just a celebrity quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback. That's the part that cuts deepest for Cleveland. Because you forgive all of this, the attention, the noise, the offers, if the guy was just flash and no substance. But he's not. He's got the arm, the reads, the leadership, the intangibles. He is the real deal. And that makes the Browns' failure to elevate him unforgivable. So now the league waits, not just for an answer, but for a signal. Whatever Shedeur Sanders chooses to do next will echo through locker rooms, boardrooms, and comment sections for years to come. Stay in Cleveland? He'll be a hero if he turns around, and a martyr if it all collapses again. Leave for Vegas? He becomes a pioneer. A symbol of everything the new NFL stands for. Control, confidence, clarity of vision. Either way, he wins. Because that's what happens when you don't let the league define your value. You define it for yourself. Shedeur didn't ask to be the face of a generational shift. But here he is, calm, poised, unbothered, just like he is in the pocket, with chaos collapsing around him and the perfect read already in motion. You think this ends with a simple decision? No shot. Whatever happens next, whether he puts on that silver and black and turns the desert into his dynasty, or shocks everyone and sticks it out in Cleveland to flip the narrative completely, it's going to define how rookies approach the league from now on. This is the moment the NFL realizes it's not just about 40-yard dash times or combine stats anymore. It's about brand, voice, leverage, narrative control, and Shedeur's holding all the strings. You think the Browns front office is sleeping easy right now? You think they're sipping coffee and prepping for the season like it's business as usual? Please, they're pacing hallways, canceling vacation, running risk assessments. Because they know if they lose him, they lose everything. The fans? Already halfway out the door. The locker room? Divided, frustrated, silent. The national media? Circling like vultures, waiting to see who flinches first. Meanwhile, Shedeur doesn't need to raise his voice. He doesn't need a trade demand. He's not stomping around with a clipboard like some disgruntled vet. He's just playing ball. Cool, composed, deadly accurate. Because that's the plot twist no one wants to admit. He's worth every penny. Every dollar of that $80 million? Justified. Every camera flash? Earned. Every headline, tweet, rumor. Panic attack in a GM's office? Deserved. Because this isn't hype. It's history. So go ahead, refresh your feed. Because the moment Shedeur does make his decision, the NFL is never going to look the same. Your turn. What's the move? Stay in Cleveland and make them believe? Or ride to Vegas and build something legendary from scratch? Drop your take in the comments. Like, subscribe, stick around. Because this drama, this isn't the season finale. It's just halftime.